What's good, everybody? I'm Keandre, this is Intellect, and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we've got something a little bit different. The draft lottery order was just announced with the Detroit Pistons winning the #1 overall pick and the rest of the lottery order being decided. Basically, in this one, I wanted to do a little mock lottery to hold off the fiends until I can get a full mock draft going. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and definitely share the channel with your friends. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. Shout out to all my Pistons fans out there. You guys are one step closer to being back. I love what they did in last year's draft, getting Killian Hayes, who still has promise, health willing, and then Isaiah Stewart and Saddiq Bey, who played about as good as you can at that draft position. With #1, Cade Cunningham is the guy here, and he's somebody who I think perfectly fits in Detroit. His ability to create for others, score, and have minimal weaknesses make him the #1 guy. They'll have a good amount of building to do at the margins, but with Jeremy Grant there, they have the potential to compete for the postseason over these next 2 years. I think there are a couple different directions the Houston Rockets could go with at #2, but I think Evan Mobley is the right choice. Jalen Green would also be a good option paired with KPJ, but Mobley's versatility and all-around upside at that size is just something you don't really see often, and that's who Houston gets here. He has a chance to be one of the next great young bigs in this league, and even with Christian Wood there, Mobley should be fine. Houston could have been in a really tough spot without this pick, but with it, they're getting a high-impact player with tremendous upside. The Cleveland Cavaliers snuck their way back into the top 3, and with this pick, they take Jalen Green. I'm a big fan of Jalen Green's game, and even though he doesn't fit the best with their current roster, I think you'd be wrong to pass up a prospect like him who is absolutely in the conversation for highest ceiling. Garland, Green, and Sexton put you in a rough spot defensively, and their skill sets sort of overlap, but a team like Cleveland doesn't really have the luxury of drafting for fit right here, and who knows what they do with Sexton since it seems like there's a new report that comes out every 6 months on him. Jalen Green is a Cleveland Cavalier at #3. All things considered, the Toronto Raptors deserved this pick. They had by far the worst playing conditions this season, and moving up from #7 to 4 was a huge win for Freddie V and company. With Kyle Lowry possibly on his way out, I think they go with Jalen Suggs here. I could definitely see Kuminga, Barnes, or maybe a few others sneak their way into this spot just knowing that organization, but ultimately Suggs is the pick. He's a two-way guard who is a really good athlete, he's unselfish, and somebody who would play well alongside Fred VanVleet and possibly create a fearsome defensive duo. T-Dot gets one of the consensus 4 with Jay Suggs, and will look to get back into the thick of playoff contention. The first of 2 top 8 picks for the Orlando Magic comes at #5. There's so much wiggle room and unpredictability after the top 4, this is where things really get interesting. But the player I think they go with is Jonathan Kuminga. Even with the guys that they already have at that wing forward spot, I think Kuminga can certainly fill in and definitely learn from some of the defenders on this roster. Although I think he's much further from a finished product as some others, Kuminga's upside is there as a raw athletic scoring wing with great physical tools, and Orlando honestly just needs whatever they can get right now. The first pick of Oklahoma City's new rebuilding era is #6, and although they would have much rather gotten into that top 4, there's still a lot of value here. They take Scotty Barnes out of Florida State. Barnes' energy, ability to defend and make plays for others makes so much sense for a young team like OKC, and one with SGA as their current cornerstone. I think they could be a candidate to trade up into that top 4 given the capital that they do have, and maybe the uncomfortability of a team like Cleveland, but I really like Scotty here. They get another long, athletic, unselfish, high upside guy on a team that should be patient at least over the next year or so. The Golden State Warriors need all the help they can get, and they need it now. They have a legendary core that with the right moves can absolutely contend for a few more years. And as good as I think some of these prospects left can be, I think a trade of their 2 lottery picks would probably be the right move if it presents itself. But since we're here, the pick is going to be Moses Moody. I think Moody provides the best combination of malleability in terms of role as a long 3-and-D guy and potential as a movable asset in the future if necessary. Moody's stock seems to be a bit lower by consensus than I have him, but this is where I'd go at #7 for Golden State. The Magic are back up to bat at #8 with a pick that they got in the Vucevic deal. I'll say this, I spent more time figuring this pick out than any of the others, and I still don't feel great about this one, but the Magic take James Bouknight. I love Bouknight's scoring ability, his movement off ball, and his potential to be solid defensively. He's got good positional size, and I think he fits well alongside the group of Fultz, Hampton, and Anthony, although this group of players doesn't really fit together in the first place. At number 9, the Sacramento Kings select Franz Wagner out of Michigan. Wagner is a versatile forward, a gap filler, a connector, who does a lot of things well, and while there might be a good amount of guys left who I think have higher ceilings, I think Wagner would really thrive in this situation. Fox-Healed Halliburton is a great start of a guard rotation, Harrison Barnes is solid, and Wagner gives you a guy who can defend multiple positions, handle it a bit, and make a few plays for others. I like him at number 9 for the Kings. The New Orleans Pelicans need to space the floor in every way imaginable, and Corey Kispert helps them do that at number 10. They don't have the time or luxury to take one of these higher upside guys, so Kispert's ability as a three-point shooter and as a defender who won't be a complete liability would be highly valuable to New Orleans. Adams and Bledsoe's fit on this team are certainly in question as well, and they probably need to get moved in order to make that jump. This is considerably higher than I'd really like for Kispert, but it honestly makes the most sense for the Pels in this situation. The Charlotte Hornets need some help in the front court, and Kai Jones can be that guy. He's definitely raw, but he's a tremendous athlete, someone who loves to run in transition, and with LaMelo Ball as your cornerstone piece, a guy like Kai Jones makes a lot of sense. I think they have a move or two to make in free agency in the front court that would presumably start, so having Kai Jones be able to develop behind them would be perfect for him. The San Antonio Spurs select Josh Giddey. This is objectively one of the best landing spots for him. It'll allow him the patience to develop in one of the league's best organizations, and he'll likely be surrounded by a cast of great athletes and defenders that'll allow him to thrive. Giddey has a unique combination of size and playmaking ability that at his age, you bet on him rounding out the rougher edges of his current game. The Indiana Pacers select Zaire Williams at 13. Williams has great upside, and I think this Pacers team could absolutely use what he brings to the table both this season and definitely going forward. He measured at a near 6'10" at the combine, adding to what is already an intriguing set of physical attributes, skill set, and overall potential. With guys like Karis LeVert, Jeremy Lamb, and TJ Warren in the fold, Zaire can learn from them on the fly, and the Pacers could use a wing with his level of talent for the future. The Warriors get Davion Mitchell with the last pick in the lottery. Some people are going to say he fell, others will say this is still too high for him, and I'd probably agree more with the latter, but I like Mitchell's fit on the Warriors as a bench combo guard and a consistent presence. He's not the biggest, but he's an absolute dog, especially defensively, and I buy his shot both off the dribble and on spot-ups translating to the league. He's somebody who can make the basic reads as a passer, and as a backup and possible sidekick to Steph and Clay, I think Davion would fit in well, especially at this point in the draft. Among the guys who fell outside the lottery in this one, you have most notably players like Jalen and Keon Johnson, who with a couple different decisions absolutely end up in the lottery, and they were definitely good options for a lot of those last teams. If we kept this mock going, I'm positive they would end up in Washington and OKC. I appreciate you guys for watching the video. I'm really only confident about the top 4, and even then there's a lot of different scenarios that could end up playing out. By the next full mock draft, it'll probably look completely different. Anyways, be on the lookout for more NBA draft content and other basketball content coming soon on the channel. Make sure to like, subscribe, and definitely leave some comments down below. But yeah, I think that's gonna do it. I'm Keandre, this is Hoop Intellect, and I'm out.
Love me long time, even at the wrong time, the hard times, we gon' know shine. That's when it's so mine, but when I'm lonely, that's when it gets to me. What's being rich to me?